Monsieur Villemure, who I understand from the letter has a motion that he would like us to entertain. So I will, with that, give the floor to Monsieur Villemure.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Chairman. I would like to submit a motion which reads as follows: that the committee undertake a study of at least 4 meetings beginning no later than Monday, August 8th, 2022, to determine and identify which device investigation tools are being used by the RCMP, which have technical capabilities similar to Pegasus, and provide the committee with the names of such software and the terms and conditions of its use. That the committee request by Thursday, August 4th, that the RCMP provide a list of warrants obtained, if any, for each of such software, as well as the scope of warrants and the reason for the monitoring. That the committee also request by Thursday, August 4th, 2022, a list of warrants or any other information related to the wiretapping of members of Parliament, parliamentary assistants, or any other employee of the Parliament of Canada. That, to this end, the witness list for this study include, but not be limited to, RCMP officers who have decided on the use of device investigation tools, or any other surveillance tools, the Minister of Public Safety, the current and former Privacy Commissioners of Canada, Mrs. Sharon Polsky, Privacy Specialist, Privacy and Access Council for Canada, and that any additional witness lists be submitted to the clerk of the committee within 7 days of the adoption of this motion.
Chair?
Discussion. Yes, Ikra, go ahead.
My apologies. Sorry, it's been a long time since I've used these headphones. I'm wondering if Monsieur Villemure would be kind enough to also read out the motion in English, just so that we have it on record, and if there's any translation glitches.
Okay, just let me before I ask Monsieur Villemure if he would care to do so. This is a bilingual committee, and members are not obliged to read their motions in both languages. Either language is an acceptable way to present a motion. So his motion, as read, is in order and was actually circulated in the letter and was orally translated just now. So I don't want us to go down that road where we ask committee members to translate their own work, but yeah, Rene, if you know, I'll leave it up to you. But that's I would discourage this as a general practice. And go ahead, Mr. Bazan.
Yeah, just on that point of order, I'd just say that would be a dangerous practice to undertake, because I'd hate to have to read a motion in both English and in French, knowing that my French capabilities are extremely limited.
All right.
So I think it's a dangerous precedent.
Okay. I could see on my screen, it looked like Ms. Shanahan was trying to get my attention. I would encourage, please, members, use the hands up feature on Zoom. It's much easier for me as chair to do it that way, but I did see you waving, so go ahead, Ms. Shanahan.
Just a technical point of order. There's a lot of background noise, and I didn't do a sound check either, so I don't know if it's timely to do so now. Could avoid future problems, but there was a lot of background noise.
Sometimes when a microphone and if there's lag between the disconnection of my microphone, that will likely create some feedback, but I hope everybody's audio is good now. If there's anybody that is having trouble understanding me in either language, please let me know now. And Ms. Shanahan, you came through very well, loud and clear. I was listening to you in English, so I presume there was no translation problem. And I would like to get to the substance of this and not, if there are problems, by all means, identify them, but I don't want to go looking for them with respect to the translation as well. If there's a problem with translation, that has been identified, let us know, but I'd like to continue with the meeting. So I see you also have your hand up again, Ms. Shanahan. Would you like to speak to the motion? Or do you have
Yes,
okay.
Yes, I would. Indeed, I would like to take this opportunity, Chair, to read out the motion as I have it in English, and that the record be corrected if it's not indeed not the proper wording. And so the motion that Mr. Villemure has put before this committee is that the committee undertake a study of at least 4 meetings beginning no later than Monday, August 8th, 2022, to determine and identify which device investigation tools are being used by the RCMP, which have technological capabilities similar to Pegasus, and provide the committee with the names of such software and the terms and conditions of its use. That the committee request by Thursday, August 4th, 2022, that the RCMP provide a list of warrants obtained, if any, for each use of such software, as well as the scope of the warrants and the reasons for the monitoring. That the committee also request by Thursday, August 4th, 2022, a list of warrants or any other information related to the wiretapping of members of Parliament, parliamentary assistants, or any other employee of the Parliament of Canada. That to this end, the witness list for this study include, but not be limited to, RCMP officers who have decided on the use of device investigation tools or any other surveillance tools, the Minister of Public Safety, the current and former Privacy Commissioners of Canada, Ms. Sharon Polsky, Privacy Specialist, Privacy and Access Council on Canada, and that any additional witness list be submitted to the clerk of the committee within 7 days of the adoption of this motion, and that the committee report its findings and recommendations to the House by September 19, 2022. Chair, I would ask the clerk to confirm that that is indeed the English translation of this motion.
Yes, that indeed is correct. So thank you. And now, Monsieur Villemure.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm wondering what the purpose of this exercise is, because we all received the motion in both official languages ahead of time, unless people are trying to find some little quirk in it.
Thank you.
Chair, may I answer? Yeah.
Well, all right. You may, but didn't. That sounded somewhat rhetorical. But anyway, go ahead, Ms. Shanahan, if you'd care to answer.
Mais justement, pour rassurer.
Well, to reassure my colleague, I'll say that we've seen this sort of problem in other committees when the translation wasn't accurate. So it's quite normal to go through this kind of exercise at the beginning of the study of a motion to make sure we understand it properly and that both motions in French and English be exactly the same. Thank you.
Any further discussion on, or any discussion on the motion itself? Ms. Khalid.
Thank you, Chair. I was just wondering if Monsieur Villemure could walk us through the intent of the motion, the purpose, and why it is the dates as proposed, just as part of the discussion on the main motion. From our side, with the Liberals, we have had discussions with all parties and all parties know that we will be potentially moving 3 amendments. But I would like to start this conversation by understanding Monsieur Villemure's objectives with this motion, if that's okay.
Monsieur Villemure, you're welcome to address Ms. Khalid's questions if you'd like.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. J'ai pas reçu d'amendement.
Thank you, Chairman. I didn't receive any amendment. I didn't get any amendment formally. But this motion follows a series of articles in La Presse newspaper, and there were questions put in the House of Commons, and there was a doubt that remained as to the non-authorized monitoring by the RCMP of parliamentarians. So I'm not someone who engages in witch hunts, but I think that privacy is fundamental. You know, this motion is not partisan. What we want is to serve the public interest. So to allow for doubt on this kind of a significant motion, I think in order to deal with this, we have to talk to people who were directly responsible, if responsibility there was. And in order to give a bit of background, Pegasus is a software which is used by several countries to monitor and survey. This software has a rather shady reputation. When the journalist put the question to the RCMP asking if they used Pegasus, they said, we use a software which allows us to investigate, which allows for device investigation. I wanted to have the opportunity to put the question directly, if this is the case. Is this the case? And if so, how do you engage in this and why? I'm sure the RCMP engages in best practices in these matters. And are they provided, as a policy, are they provided with best practices in the matter? Because we want to have confidence in the National Police Force.
Next, I have Ms. Shanahan. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chair. I listened with great interest to the points that were being made by Monsieur Villemure, and indeed there are concerns. We have heard about them. I was a previous member of this committee, Chair, and so I know that there have been concerns in the past, and I do congratulate the committee on proceeding with the facial recognition study, which I haven't followed very closely, but I'll be looking forward to that report and to that study. That's very important work for this committee. But I do fail to understand some of the requests in this motion, notably the request for the Minister of Public Safety to appear, and so I'm well aware, having served on other committees, that there is operational independence. The Minister of Public Safety, his or her role is unique in that the agencies that are the oversight of the Minister of Public Safety do not directly report. There is operational independence. I think that we are familiar with that term, and that this is so would not be pertinent. There is not. There is, from what I can see, any information that the Minister of Public Safety can offer us, but I will leave that. I'm new to this committee on this session, so but I do think that the relevance of the Minister of Public Safety here in this inquiry is not relevant. Thank you, Chair.
Next, I have Mr. Bazan. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to thank our colleague, Mr. Villemure, for coming forward with this motion and requesting this emergency meeting that us as Conservative members supported. This is an issue that I think we need to delve into. When you look at this Pegasus malware, which is not just a hacking application, that this software also is spyware and has the ability to turn on our microphones on our smartphones, turn on our cameras to spy on us and others. We know that the RCMP are saying that they have used it in the traditional sense of the wiretap. But this goes way beyond any wiretapping technology that's existed until the advent of Pegasus. And we know that there's other software out there as well. So I think it is inherent upon us as committee members to dig into this, to see how the RCMP has been using it, to even look at what other police agencies are doing with this type of technology across Canada and elsewhere. And, the one thing that is concerning is whether or not it's been used against us as members of Parliament to monitor us, to listen into our conversations, to whether or not knowing our places that we meet that aren't public are now being shared amongst people with malicious intent. And I think that we have to be consider all those avenues. To go to Ms. Shanahan's comment about the Minister of Public Safety, I think ultimately the RCMP have to report to the Minister of Public Safety. And when we're dealing in new technology that goes beyond the scope of what we have available under rules and regulations and legislation that we have as a country, then the Minister of Public Safety, I would have hoped, would be informed on what type of technologies are being used by the National Police Force. So having the Minister of Public Safety appear to give testimony to committee to explain what the government does or does not know is important to the overall work that we want to undertake. We need to know how this has been deployed across government agencies as well. And so that comes down to the Minister of Public Safety is responsible for it. Is CSE under National Defense making use of this technology? Is it being deployed not only against adversaries, but is it being used against our own citizens and us as national legislators, or even provincial and municipal politicians as well? So we need to take a harder look at this, and I think that the sooner we get started, the better. We can do this over a short period of time, multiple meetings per day over a couple of days. We should be able to get through all these witnesses and not take up a lot of summertime for us being in our constituencies right now, especially being the first summer back in our ridings since the mandates have ended, allowing us to get out to our community events and meet with our constituents face to face. So I will be supporting this and not too crazy about making any major amendments to the motion.